quick gut check for anybody who still believes in basic public standard. Why is it so hard for a top Justice Department official to say out loud, no, people convicted of violent assaults on police shouldn't get compensation? Not in general, not that's workshop the wording, not my feelings don't matter, just no. Because what you're about to watch is the oldest dance in politics. Hide behind procedure so you never have to take a moral position that might upset the people you're protecting.
Guideline that says those who have been convicted of violent acts against police officers are not eligible.
I will definitely encourage the commissioners to take everything into account when determining who should get compensation.
Notice what just happened. He starts with the safe sounding part. There's a guideline, not eligible. Commissioners, take everything into account. That's the language of responsibility without the burden of responsibility. It's all structure, not spine. And if your instinct is, okay, so then it's settled. Hold that thought. Because the second Merkley tries to lock it down, you're gonna see the escape hatch open.
But why not this specific issue of violent acts, convicted of violent acts against police officers? Do you feel they should get compensation after being convicted of violent acts?
My feelings don't matter, Senator.
Here we go. My feelings don't matter. No, don't Blanche. This isn't group therapy. Nobody asked you to general. This is the Department of Justice. You're being asked whether there's a basic standard. Convicted violence against police disqualifies you from getting paid. When someone in power says, my feelings don't matter, what they're really doing, but it functions as is a pivot. It's a way to pretend the question is emotional. So they can refuse to answer it like it's option. What's the next move is about to drown the question in process.
In my mind is not limiting to say this, yes, I will commit to this or that. What I will commit to is making sure that the commissioners are effectively doing their jobs, and that includes setting guidelines like you're describing.
And not limiting, I won't commit to this or that. I'll make sure the commissioners do their jobs. That is a dodge wrapped in a job description. Merkley is asking for a clear answer on a clear disqualifier. Convicted violence against police. And Blanche's response is basically, I'll oversee the people who might stand there, decide the thing you're asking me to say right now. That is how accountability gets laundered. The public hears what side, but what's happening is distant. He's creating space so nobody can pin him to an actual principle. And Merkley hears it because the temperature jumps immediately.
Okay, I'm disappointed that you feel it's acceptable that those who are convicted of violently assaulting...
I definitely did not say that. I didn't say I found it acceptable, Senator.
This right here is the whole game. Merkley is basically saying, if you want rule it out, if you want draw the line, then what message are you sending? That it's acceptable. And Blanchett doesn't answer the substance. He doesn't say, no, it's not acceptable and it shouldn't happen. He goes straight to the courtroom style technicality. I didn't say that. I didn't say that law is designed to do one thing, make the conversation about Merkley's praising instead of Blanche's refuser to commit. It's like watching someone step back from the edge and then argue about the lighting. Now, but how Merkley tries again. Clean up, more specific, harder to wiggle out of.
Will you agree to encourage those commissioners to set a guideline that compensation will not go to individuals who are convicted of assaulting police officers?
I expect...
Just a yes would answer my question, or a no.
A yes will not answer that question. I mean, you're asking whether I will encourage. I don't think that's a fair word. I don't think it's the Attorney General's job to encourage commissioners to do or not do anything.
I guess will not answer that question. Let's translate. I'm not going to give you the sentence you can play back later, because that's what this is. Merkley is trying to get a simple commitment that matches what normal people think should already be policy. Don't compensate convicted violence against cops. And Blanche, here's the danger. Not to the country, not to the public trust. The danger to him politically. The danger of being on record. So instead, he start litigating the word encourage, not the assault, not the conviction, not the standard, the word encourage. And then the punchline. I don't think it's the Attorney General's job to encourage commissioners to do or not do anything. Are you kidding me? He literally just told you he'll make sure commissioners are doing their jobs. But the second the job becomes such a clear guidelines so convicted assaulters don't get paid, suddenly it's not my role. That is selective responsibility. That is how you keep your hands clean while the outcome stays dirty. And notice the pattern. When asked for clarity, he gives bureaucracy. When asked for principle, he gives semantics. When confronted with the implication, he gives denying. That's not leadership. That's stubborn.
Okay,
Sir.
well, we'll move on.
And that's the maddening part. Because hearings have clocks. Division wins, we're running out the timer. Blanche never had to say the one thing that would have ended this caning. No, people convicted of violent assaults on police should not get compensation. He chose not to. And in politics, refusing to say the obvious isn't neutrality. It's a decision. That is what accountability dots looks like in real life. Not a shouting match, not sharing dramatic confession. It's more than that. And that's why it's dangerous. And Democratic senator asked for a basic moral public trust standard. And the Republican acting attorney general hides behind what games, process, and I didn't say that because committing to the principle might upset somebody he doesn't want to upset. So no, I'm not impressed by the legalistic tap dancing and disgusted by it. If you can't say convicted violence against police disqualifies you from compensation, clearly, directly, without hiding behind commissioners, then you're not defending institutions. You are defending an outcome. And people are done being played like that.